A very good morning to my wonderful, lovely Year 6 students. Mingalaba, Chao An, Kale Vanakkam. Today is Monday, 27th April 2020. Welcome to my English lesson. Kindly take out your learner's book and please turn to page 134. 134. Today's lesson objective is identify techniques for creating suspense. Identify techniques for creating suspense. Let us look at this section, comparing extracts. Question 1. From your study of the two suspense extracts on pages 131 and 133, you will have learned some of the techniques used by writers to create suspense. Last week, we looked at the two texts on pages 131 and 133. Now, copy and complete the table below. You will need to read and refer to both extracts again. Now, what I want you to do is this. I want you to read the two extracts one more time on pages 131. It's a long text, one-page text, and the other extract is on page 133, a shorter text. Now, copy and complete the table below. You will need to read and refer to both extracts again. Now, in both extracts, the following techniques have been used. The following techniques have been used to create suspense. In both texts, you have the concept of darkness to create fear. Okay, and then the author or the writer has used sound. A strange something or someone suggested. Alright, strange people, strange things have been suggested in both texts. And the writer has also given clues, hints about the character given through their movement and behavior. And finally, there are cliffhanger endings. If you look at both texts end with ellipsis. The last sentences in both texts end with ellipsis. Ellipsis refers to the three dots. We looked at it in a previous lesson. Ellipsis. So whenever there is an ellipsis, now what happens is the reader will be left thinking as to what will happen later on. So cliffhanger ending does not have a proper ending. It has a vague or abrupt ending. And cliffhanger ending usually leaves the reader thinking about what will happen in the story later on. So basically, you have to look at the two extracts and see how these techniques have been used, and you need to write them down here. Let's move on to number 2. The writers of both extracts use visual details. Visual details. Visual details are details describing the way they look, describing the way they dress. The writers of both extracts use visual details so that the reader can see what is happening. Copy and complete the table to find an example of one adjective. One adjective, one verb, and one short sentence in each extract that makes the reader see the detail. So basically, in order to use visual details, the writer has used an adjective, the writer has used a verb, the writer has used a short sentence for effect. Okay, so in the case of Caroline, the first extract, what are the adjectives used? The author has used darkened hall. What about in the other extract, written by Swaminathan? So you have to look at it. So basically, you have to look at the two extracts, one on page 131, the other on page 133. You will realize that the writers have actually used all these three things, adjective, verb, and short sentence, to create visual details. What are they? You need to write them down here. Let's move on to number 3. Writers will often use a simile to give more visual detail by comparing one thing to another. Similes always use like or as. For example, the deserted house was like an empty playground. So the deserted house is compared to an empty playground. Now A, which of the two extracts contains a simile? Identify the simile. In which extract is the simile used? Write it down here. Copy out the simile and explain its effect. What exactly does the simile mean in that particular extract? You need to write down here. Section 4. A. Which extract do you prefer? Give a reason for your answer. B. Using your preferred extract, draw what the writer has described. So basically you have to talk about what the writer has described. The word draw doesn't mean that you have to draw as in use a pencil to draw on a piece of paper, but here it means using your preferred extract, draw what the writer has described. Write down what the writer has described. You need to write it down. Did you find it easy to do? So basically, students, you have to answer all these questions. Kindly write all the answers in the English exercise book. Take a photograph and send it to me via Class Dojo. If you have any questions, please send me a message. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of the lesson. Have a nice day. Happy learning. Bye-bye.